Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Orange County Legislature's organization meeting for 2023. Today's Thursday, January 5th, 2023. Would everyone please stand for a moment of silence and a pledge to the flag? And also, please remember former legislator Roxanne Donnery, who passed away this week. Would the deputy clerk please do roll call?
Amo?
Here.
Anagnestakis?
Present.
Benton?
Here.
Benelli? Brescia? Cheney? Ellers? Fagione?
Here.
Hines?
Here.
Lujan? Menuda?
Here.
O'Donnell? Paduk?
Here.
Ramos?
Present.
Riskevich? Sassy? Sierra? Stiganga? Sutherland? Totel? Tui? 18 present, 3 absent.
Ladies and gentlemen, your first order of business today is to elect a chairperson for the year 2023. I will now accept nominations. Legislator Riskevich.
Yes, thank you. It's my honor to nominate Catherine Benelli for chairwoman of the Orange County Legislature. As we all know, Katie came into the position under difficult circumstances, and she handled it with grace and poise and professionalism, and has continued to do that ever since. Katie has a great deal of experience, not only in county government, but in town government before that. And she's just a wealth of information and expertise. I know she attends almost every committee meeting, and her comments and input and insight are always very helpful to the committees, to all of us, in keeping things on track and getting things done. I know I've asked her questions and advice many times, and I've always appreciated the response I got. I know she's fair to everyone. Her door is always open, and she's done a tremendous job so far, and I think that she should continue in that role, and I would hope that all of my fellow legislators will support her. Thank you.
The name of Catherine E. Benelli has been presented as chairperson of the year 2023. Are there any other nominations? Legislator Sassy.
I was going to second that.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? There being no other nominations, may I have a motion to close nominations? Thank you. I cast one ballot for Catherine E. Benelli as chairperson of the Orange County Legislature. May I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Catherine E. Benelli has been elected as chairwoman of the Orange County Legislature for the year 2023. County Clerk Kelly Eskew, please administer the oath of office to the new chairwoman.
Well, a few years ago, who would have thought I was here? So thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. And it is with much gratitude that I thank each and every one of you for your vote of confidence as I assume the position of Orange County Chairwoman once again. I pledge to you, as I have done in the past, my legislative colleagues, and to the public of Orange County to continue to lead by inclusion and create an environment that is inviting to work collaboratively, not only with the executive branch, but with commissioners, directors, department heads, and all employees of Orange County. I strongly believe that open communication and respect leads to successful outcomes. And I'd like to thank both Tom Fagione and Michael Paduch for being such professional partners throughout this past year. And I congratulate both of them on their reelection to their respective leadership positions. Both have risen to the challenges of their positions, which have provided their members with the necessary information for everyone to make an informed decision. Our team effort has allowed us to continue to provide the much-needed services for our residents and ensuring their safety and well-being. Our collaborative spirit in addressing these issues has proven beneficial to the people of Orange County, and I look forward to continuing this mission. We begin a new year with a sound and fiscally strong budget that, thanks to our partnership with County Executive Steve Newhouse, this budget not only includes funding for essential services, but also provides aggressive funding for our park system, as well as our tourism office. We are anxious to see these enhancements come to fruition throughout the year ahead. Additionally, before the close of the year, we recognized a real need for additional funding in our Orange County Fuel Fund. This provides funding assistance to those in need to meet the high cost of people's fuel bills. This is an issue we will continue to monitor for the rest of the winter season, despite the nice weather that was today, a little bit warmer. And despite this extra focus that we have placed on this, we were still able to decrease the county tax rate. This is a feat that each and every one of us should be very, very proud of. As we move forward, the wheels of motion are already in place for our mandated redistricting plan. We are prepared to face those challenges throughout 2023. In 2023, we'll also start to see some real movement in the Orange County Sewer District improvements and expansions. This has been a long-standing issue. Quite frankly, it goes back to my days of being a supervisor, that we finally will see some real movement for much-needed improvements. The upcoming year will be filled with unique challenges, and we will work towards a healthier world and a strong economy together. I'm confident that if we continue to operate as a unified body, we will be successful in keeping Orange County fiscally sound and a healthy county for many years to come. It is my hopes that together with Majority Leader Fagione and Minority Leader Michael Paduch and County Executive Newhouse and his team, we will continue to dutifully work together to provide the residents of Orange County a vibrant and safe environment that we can be all proud to live, work, and raise our families in the place that we all call home. In closing, I am humbled by the support and confidence this legislative body has afforded me. Please accept my heartfelt gratitude. I'd like to recognize my colleagues and friends, Paul Riskevich and Rob Sassy, for the kind words in their respective nominating speech. I consider them both not only friends, but true professionals in government. I would be remiss if I did not recognize Legislator Clerk Jean Rampin, Deputy Clerk Kelly Bradley, our staff members Doreen Griffith and Carrie Ann Hamill, and Legislator Counsel Betsy Abraham for their extraordinary work. They are strong professional women that work every day to make our legislative responsibilities a little bit easier. And I can certainly attest to the fact that they make my life a lot easier. County Executive Newhouse has also been a very supportive partner in government, and I look forward to continue working with him. And finally, on a personal note, I'd like to recognize my family, my husband, Joe, who has always been supportive of all the adventures that I will embark on, my daughter, Victoria, my son-in-law, Don, and granddaughter Grace, who is obviously my pride and joy, because I'm sure everybody has heard all of my Grace stories. So with that, I thank you all very, very much. I look forward to a very, very fruitful 2023. And with that, let's get started to work and start our business right away. Thank you. And first of all, I'd like to call on Legislator Benton.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's my honor today to, after an exhaustive late-night meeting, the Republican caucus has chosen Kevin McCarthy to be Majority Leader for 2023. Washington could really use Tom Fagione. Not that we need Kevin, but at least business could proceed down there. But no, actually, it's my honor to say that the Republican caucus has chosen Tom Fagione again to be our Majority Leader for 2023. He keeps us straight, he keeps us informed, and he's always there if you have a question, and he's always there to get an answer when you have a question. So that was our selection. Congratulations, Tom.
Okay, and I'd also like at this point to recognize Legislator Lori Tortel.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Lee, I was thinking of sending them Genesis. They could use some youth and some enthusiasm down there. But the Democratic caucus has proudly elected Michael Paduch as our minority leader. As with Tom and Katie, Michael has been excellent in our leadership position, even through some very difficult times. He has always been there for us, stood with us, worked with every legislator on this body and with the leadership, and always took the time to individually text or call one of us to let us know what's going on from the leadership down so that we're constantly informed, and he has been a great friend to us. So I'm proud to say that Michael Paduch is the minority leader for 2023.
Thank you, Legislator Tortel, and congratulations to both Mr. Fagione and Mr. Paduch. And with that, we go to item A-1.
Legislators Benelli, Paduch, Amo, and Agnestakis, Benton, Brescia, Cheney, Ellers, Fagione, Hines, Lujan, Menuda, O'Donnell, Ramos, Riskevich, Sassy, Sierra, Stiganga, Sutherland, Tortel, and Tui. Resolution of the Legislature of the County of Orange honoring the memory of Roxanne Donnery, outstanding citizen, dedicated public servant, former chairwoman of the Orange County Legislature, and former county legislator for the 14th Legislative District.
Second.
Right, before I take the vote, I would like to read the resolution that was prepared by our clerk. Whereas it is fitting and appropriate to recognize the career and life of an outstanding citizen, dedicated public servant, and respected former colleague on this, the first meeting of the Orange County Legislature after her passing. And whereas Roxanne Donnery established a prominent and admired place in the community, she epitomized the fundamental virtues upon which our nation is founded and set an example to which all persons may aspire. The life of Roxanne Donnery demonstrates that love of the service to country, family, community, and personal conviction to work hard and strive for excellence are key to the life of fulfillment. Whereas Roxanne Donnery influenced every important public policy decision made during her outstanding 15-year legislative career. During her tenure, she served on numerous legislative committees, including Human Services, Health and Mental Health, Rules Enactments and Intergovernmental Relations, Public Safety and Emergency Services, Ways and Means, Personnel and Compensation, and Education and Economic Development Committees, as well as the Orange County Legislators' Valley View Special Investigative Committee. She served as chairwoman of the legislature in 2009. Her commitment and service to the county is deeply appreciated. Now, therefore, it is hereby resolved that we, the legislature of the Orange County, the County of Orange, do hereby formally memorialize our profound sentiments on the occasion of the passing of our former colleague, Roxanne Donnery, on behalf of ourselves and of all the people of the County of Orange to whose interest and services she was well dedicated to. It is further resolved that the resolution be spread upon the records of this body as a permanent memorial and as an enduring standard for its members and all citizens. This is dated January 5th, 2023. At this time, I know a few people would like to make some comments, so I'm going to start off with Minority Leader Paduk.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That proclamation probably says it all. I had the honor and the pleasure of working with Roxanne for all 16 years of her terms. We've worked on a lot of different issues together, and Roxanne would not give up, and I'm sure most of you know how feisty she was, and someone else had used that word. Roxanne became a true friend with me, and look, we talked about a lot of different things, and one of my favorite quotes was when we were talking about the trying to have an inspector general, and she made a quote about, it's like, if we don't have one, it's like having the fox guard the hen house. She was great with comments like that. She was always nice to everyone. She worked with both sides of the aisle, and I was very proud to call her my friend, so sorry to see her go.
Thank you, Minority Leader Paduk. Legislator Tortel.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. This will be slightly difficult for me because she wasn't just a friend, a colleague, but Roxanne knew me my whole life, and she had some very funny stories of when I was quite young and her husband rescued me in the middle of a snowstorm. And I have very fond memories of playing with her children in her house, and Roxanne always encouraged us to be creative and to look at the fun side of life. But as I grew older, Roxanne, who I'm honored to sit in her legislative chair, became a friend to a growing adult. She was my mentor. She taught me how to fight for what was right and stand up for what was right. When she started with our school district, we almost lost our school district in the town of Highlands. And there's a very famous story of Roxanne in a Georgetown restaurant accosting then President Bill Clinton. And within a week, our school district had the funding that we needed for impact aid. And she continued throughout her entire life to go to Washington to fight for our school district and fight for the children, because her heart lied in service and her heart lied in children and in bringing her corner of the world to a better place and improving the lives of everybody she touched. I can't tell you how many stories I know of Roxanne where she would go where people would not go. People are afraid to go, especially back in that day and time. And she would rescue people, and how many people she helped overcome addiction, and how many people she helped get back on their feet in life. And this was the person that Roxanne Donnery was. And her legacy will continue on in her family, in her children, and in all of us. And her services will be Monday the 9th, and I hope all of us can go there and represent the county legislature that she loved and dedicated so much of her life to. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Legislator Tortel. Anything else? And at this point, I would ask, I'm sorry, Legislator Anagostakis.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's always difficult in these situations. I didn't have the honor to serve with her for 3 or 4 terms. I know a few of the people here probably did do that. But I did serve with her 1 term, and I served on the committee, the investigative committee of Valley View, and I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that we probably put in 250 to 300 hours, literally shoulder to shoulder, working on stuff. And that's when you really get to know a person. I can't tell you the countless number of hours late at night in her home, and her home was her pride, her artwork in the home, and the children and the grandchildren. So everyone will tell you she was a fighter. When she believed in something, she fought for it. I think we all know that. We might not know that she was always open-minded. She was always after the truth. She always knew that she didn't know the answers all the time, that other people might have more experience or knowledge in an area, and she wasn't too proud to hand the ball off when the occasion called for it, because she was always after the truth and doing what was right. I'm proud to call her a friend. I will miss her, and the thing will always stick with me is her contagious smile that she always had. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Legislator Anagostakis. Anyone else? And at this point, we will call the roll.
Fagion?
Yes.
Paduk?
Yes.
Amo? Anagnestakis? Benton? Cheney? Ellers? Hines? Luhan? Menuda? Ramos? Riskevich? Sassy? Stiganga? Sutherland? Tortel? Tui? Benelli? 18 ayes.
Thank you. All right, we move on to number 1.
Legislator Fagion, resolution adopting the legislative manual for the County of Orange and the rules of order and procedure for the Orange County Legislature as previously amended pursuant to Section 2.02A of the Orange County Charter, Section 153 of the county law, and Article 2, C1E, Article 3, Introduction, and Article 4, E1A and B of said legislative manual.
Second.
Questions or comments? Okay, then we'll call the roll on this, please.
Fagion?
Yes.
Paduk?
Yes.
Emo, Anagnestakis, Benton, Cheney, Ellers, Hines, Luhan, Menuda, Ramos, Riskevich, Sassy, Stiganga, Sutherland, Tortel, Tui, Benelli. 18 ayes.
Thank you. Number 2, please.
Legislator Fagion, resolution establishing legislative calendar for 2023 pursuant to Article 2, C1F of the legislative manual.
Second.
Questions or comments? Minority Leader Paduk?
Thank you, Madam Chair. As always, there's always a concern in regards to all meetings being at 3:30. We all have a Youth and Government Day. You know, there are youth in this county too that might like to attend our meetings, and it's really hard for them to get here at 3:30. I mean, we sponsor a special meeting for them once a year, and yet don't give them an opportunity after that to come back and visit with us or have their comments heard by us. So I'm going to propose that we change the May 4th and the October 5th meeting from 3:30 till 7 o'clock.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion or comments on the motion? Legislator Ramos?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So as elected officials, we work to serve our community, which means not just during 9 to 5 business hours. I think we are consistently missing the mark by doing that. It's a disservice also to assume that folks will come to legislative sessions for issues they care about. Oftentimes hearing that attendance is issue-driven, but this is just not true because we have to take into consideration employment, childcare, travel from different parts of the county. Just think about your constituency, your friends, your family. Could they come here at 3:30? I know most of my constituency and even the people I'm close to in this county would not be able to attend our meetings at 3:30. A lot of legislators are retired or business owners, which allow a level of flexibility for all of you to be here. Then there's other legislators like myself who work full-time. And I'm very thankful to have an employer that is flexible and allows me to be present in my elected duties that I very proudly do. But for me, it's difficult to really try to explain over and over to constituents why we have meetings only during business hours. Government is not meant to be insular. And by only essentially operating during the business day, we are being insular. It is great that we have YouTube and live streaming so that folks can watch recordings, or if they can potentially watch our meetings from work or school. But that's still not enough. There is a digital divide throughout our county, and we have to also take that into consideration. Furthermore, I don't think there's enough awareness truly around the fact that we live stream our meetings or that these recordings are even available. because I find myself consistently informing and educating folks, not just in my district, but honestly throughout the county, that this is even in existence. So I think we could do a much better job, and I include myself in that as a legislator, in building more awareness throughout the county and reaching our constituency in different ways. Additionally, another thing that has been thrown around is the idea of overtime and being fiscally conservative. We make concessions for other things and other departments, and I think that investing a couple of times a year in perhaps what would come to 8 hours of overtime in an entire year is worth it when we're talking about investing in the ability for constituents to be present. Because while we may be saving a few dollars by not paying some hours of overtime, few hours of overtime in the entirety of a fiscal year, it comes at a cost of our constituents being disconnected from us. And ultimately, I just feel like we have choices to make. Are we going to do better to connect, to be visible, and to be proactive, and to not just serve during the business day? Or are we going to actually think about the diversity that exists in Orange County and the fact that as elected officials, we really should think about the diverse needs and how we can reach our constituents differently? Thank you.
Any other comments? Legislator Lujan?
I think Legislator Menuda had his hand up first.
Sorry,
I think Legislator Menuda had his hand up first. Go ahead. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I'm sorry. I didn't-
Firstly, congratulations.
Thank you.
So many different things. Every year that we do this, we have this kind of tug of war back and forth about is it useful? Are we really seeing the turnout that we'd like? And I think Legislator Ramos really raises so many valid points that we have continuously talked about. The fact that we can even ourselves do a better job of promoting what is already there, but at the same time acknowledging that there's huge gaps in our communities. Right, whether you live in rural parts of the county where it's generally people live further away, whether it's individuals who economic divisions, whether we're talking about technological divisions where some people might not have access, like other communities might. Really, this is a matter of us trying to better serve the community. We're voting on adding 2 nighttime meetings. Honestly, I really felt, if it were my view, we should have them all at 7 p.m. because the reality is it provides a greater number of people to be able to be here, and that's what we should want. That's what we should want for our community members, to make it significantly more accessible for them to be able to do so. The maximizing on that, I think, is important. And to a point that was also mentioned, we also come here kind of from a position of privilege, right? Legislator Ramos mentioned, for instance, that some of us, or the majority of us, are retired. Some of us are not. Even for those of us who are not retired, it comes as a position of privilege to be able to have positions or jobs that allow us the ability to be here at sometimes at great difficulty for those who are not retired. That is not what politics should look like, right? We here as representatives, particularly those who are not retired, we speak for a community that's saying, listen, we want you to know that politics and government is accessible to you. But when we go back to our districts or we go back to our homes and it feels like there's a disconnect, well, that doesn't serve them. And so I encourage this body for us to at least take the position of opening this up to evening meetings, to at least provide some of those individuals who might be able to make it. Thank you.
Thank you. Legislator Menuda?
Thank you, Chairwoman, and congratulations.
Thank you.
We go through this, I've been here 5 years now, and we go through this every year. We usually say, yeah, sure, let's do it, and we end up with no one here. Part of our responsibility is representing our communities and letting them know that there's live streaming, letting them know when the meetings are, bringing the information to them. That's part of our job when we come here to serve and to even run for the position. So, to that extent, there is overtime, and, hearing a lot of the comments, I think a few people must have heard our show this morning. To that end, I don't really see the need for it. We've done this so many times and no one shows up. So to that end, I'm not in favor of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Legislator Menuda. Legislator Benton?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, it's been said many times by others, Yes, we do talk about this every year. I'm starting my 26th year, and we talk about it every year. We've done it, I don't know for how many years, a couple times a year. But again, it is entirely issue-driven whether people show up. That's been the way from the beginning. Just last year, when we did it, we had a hearing or a meeting on June 2nd, 2022. 6 legislators are absent for that meeting. So with all this hubbub about, well, we need to have night meetings, well, we couldn't even get all of us who have such lofty ideas about having evening meetings here. So, I mean, things can happen with your family. There's emergencies and such. I understand that. That can keep you away from any meeting. But again, we had a public hearing that night. 2 people showed up, I believe. It was a couple. Also, there was no other public here. There was no public speaking on any issues before the meeting or after the meeting. So again, we go through this every year. I don't think it's really worth doing anymore because, like I said, if it's interest in the subject and the title and what needs to be done and what's being voted on, people will show up, people will come out. It's all issue driven. So I would encourage everyone to maintain the daily meetings. Thank you.
Any further comments? I believe we have am I correct in saying we have a motion and a second for an amendment? Okay, so this vote is on the amendment, which would include taking the, if I'm incorrect, let me know, the May 4th, 2023, and changing it from 3:30 to 7, and the October 5th, which is the annual meeting, and changing that to 7 from 3:30. This is the amendment. This is what's being proposed.
Fagion?
No.
Paduk?
Absolutely.
Amo? Anagnestakis?
No.
Benton?
No.
Cheney? Ellers? Hines? Lujan? Menuda?
No.
Ramos? Riskevich?
No.
Sassy? Stiganga? Sutherland? Tortel? Tui? Benelli?
No. Okay, the motion has failed. Any further comments on this? I think comments were well said. And if everybody's ready, we're going to call the vote on as originally presented with the meeting schedule presented in the resolution.
Fagion?
Yes.
Paduk?
Yes.
Amo? Anagnestakis? Benton? Cheney? Ellers? Hines? Lujan? Menuda? Ramos? Riskevich? Sassy? Stiganga? Sutherland? Tortel? Tui? Benelli? 16 ayes, 2 noes.
Motion is carried. Are you to read these or? Okay. So number 3 is received and filed.
Designation by members of the county legislature representing the Republican Party of newspapers to publish the concurrent resolutions of the state legislature and election notices to be published in 2023 pursuant to Section 214 of the county law. To publish concurrent resolutions of the legislature, News of the Highlands, Inc., P.O. Box 518, Cornwall, New York 12518, Times Community Newspapers, 300 Stony Brook Court, Newburgh, New York 12550, the Goshen Independent, P.O. Box 628, Goshen, New York 10924, to publish the election notices issued by the Secretary of State, Times Community Newspapers, 300 Stony Brook Court, Newburgh, New York 12550, News of the Highlands, Inc., P.O. Box 518, Cornwall, New York 12518, Warwick Valley Dispatch, 2 Oakland Avenue, P.O. Box 594, Warwick, New York 10990, Times Herald Record, 40 Mulberry Street, Middletown, New York 10940, the Goshen Independent, P.O. Box 628, Goshen, New York 10924.
Then we move on to number 4, which is also received and filed.
Designation by members of the county legislature representing the Democratic Party of newspapers to publish the concurrent resolutions of the state legislature and election notices to be published in 2023 pursuant to Section 214 of the county law. To publish the concurrent resolutions of the legislature, the Goshen Independent, P.O. Box 628, Goshen, New York 10924, Hudson Valley Press, P.O. Box 2160, Newburgh, New York 12550. News of the Highlands, Inc., P.O. Box 518, Cornwall, New York 12518. To publish the election notices issued by the Secretary of State. Times Community Newspapers, 300 Stony Brook Court, Newburgh, New York 12550. Times Herald Record, 40 Mulberry Street, Middletown, New York 10940. The Goshen Independent, P.O. Box 628, Goshen, New York 10924. Hudson Valley Press, P.O. Box 2160, Newburgh, New York 12550. News of the Highlands, Inc., P.O. Box 518, Cornwall, New York 12518.
Number 5 is also received and filed.
Designation by members of the county legislature representing the Republican Party of newspapers to publish all local laws, notices, and other matters required by law to be published in 2023 pursuant to subdivision 2 of section 214 of the county law. To publish as one of the official newspapers of the county legislature of the County of Orange, all local laws, notices, and other matters required to be published by the county legislature. News of the Highlands, Inc., P.O. Box 518, Cornwall, New York 12518. The Warwick Valley Dispatch, 2 Oakland Avenue, P.O. Box 594, Warwick, New York 10990. The Goshen Independent, P.O. Box 628, Goshen, New York 10924.
Okay. Moving on to number 6, this is also received and filed.
Designation by members of the county legislature representing the Democratic Party of newspaper to publish all local laws, notices, and other matters required by law to be published in 2023 pursuant to subdivision 2 of section 214 of the county law. To publish as one of the official newspapers of the county legislature of the County of Orange, all local laws, notices, and other matters required to be published by the county legislature. Times Community Newspapers, 300 Stony Brook Court, Newburgh, New York 12550. News of the Highlands, Inc., P.O. Box 518, Cornwall, New York 12518. Hudson Valley Press, P.O. Box 2160, Newburgh, New York 12550. The Goshen Independent, P.O. Box 628, Goshen, New York 10924.
Which brings us to number 7, please.
Legislator Fagione, resolution designating newspapers published within the county as official newspapers for the publication of all local laws, notices, and other matters required by law to be published in 2023 pursuant to subdivision 2 of section 214 of the county law.
Second.
Questions and comments? And please do the roll.
Fagione?
Yes.
Paduk?
Yes.
Amo, Anagnestakis, Benton, Cheney, Ellers, Hines, Lujan, Menuda, Ramos, Riskevich, Sassy, Stiganga, Sutherland, Tortel, Tui, Benelli. 18 ayes.
Thank you. And we move on to number 8. This is old business. This is the reorg meeting. We usually don't take into consideration any other business, but we do have something that needs to be cleaned up, and it is a resolution. And I'm going to let Jean read it, and then I'm going to ask our council to please explain why we're doing this afternoon.
Legislator Fagione, resolution dated January 5th, 2023. Resolution of the County of Orange, New York pursuant to section 41.00 of the local finance law, repealing in part various partially unissued bond authorizations of certain bond resolutions of said county, which authorize the issuance of bonds to finance various improvements in and for the county.
Second.
Okay, at this time, Betsy, if you don't mind.
So on December 1st, 2022, the legislature passed resolution number 307, 2022, which essentially allowed for this to take place, which was to repeal in part various partially unissued bond authorizations. This resolution that is before you today is in furtherance of that resolution. It was by recommendation of bond counsel to include this just to further the meaning of the resolution that was passed on December 1st, 2022.
Having heard that, any questions or comments? Then we'll take, yes, Minority Leader Paduk.
If it's repealing it, we didn't spend this money, so you can't get it anymore, basically, right?
It's repealing certain portions of bonds that were previously issued that were not spent.
Right, so this wasn't, these projects are completed now, though. Don't they have to be completed before we suspend?
I cannot speak to the level of completion of each of those projects.
Legislator Benton.
It's probably possible that one of these could be a job that was never done, but was approved for bonding. This is just simply straightening out the books and making sure that there's nothing left in an account that is old and should not have any money left in it anymore. So this is like the correction of the bonding.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned when I read about the Grant Street properties having $472,000 in it. Why, how that happened, really. But that was the biggest concern I seen there. And do you have an answer for that? Why it's so much?
For that specific amount?
Yeah, that's a lot of money, $500,000 almost.
I do not, but I would remind you that this was a resolution that was passed on December 1st of 2022. I believe Finance was present at that time to present any questions.
Okay, well,
And if I may, also, this was all attached to the legislative request that went before committee. So this information is really just confirming what, with the original resolution 307.
they must have had the answer then. I don't remember that part.
Yeah, it was all part of it and all attached to 307 of 2022 when it went to Ways and Means.
Thank you so much.
I'll find out for you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, having no other comments, you want to call the roll, please?
Fagion?
Yes.
Paduk?
Yes.
Amo? Anagnestakis? Benton? Cheney? Ellers? Hines? Lujan? Menuda? Ramos? Riskevich? Sassy? Stiganga? Sutherland? Tortel? Tui? Benelli? 18 ayes. And the desk is clear.
Thank you. Before we do adjourn and close this meeting, it has been brought to my attention that some of our colleagues have reached some milestones in their careers as a legislature here. So we do have, and I'd like to just briefly read this. Legislator Amo from the 1st District, representing the villages of Curious Joel and towns of Monroe, Palm Tree, and Woodbury, who's not only a legislator and a retired New York City Office of Mental Health and a thoroughbred racing fan, as well as serving on and being an Independence Party member up until 2021. He served on the Human Services Committee, the Health and Mental Health Committee. He also served as chair of that committee, along with Rules, Enactments, Intergovernmental Relations, Personnel and Compensation, Ways and Means, Environmental Facilities, and now we go back when that used to be, now it's Physical Services, and it goes back to Social Services Committee back in 1999. Legislator Amo is celebrating 25 years this year. And joining him in this milestone is Legislator Benton from the 16th District. You mentioned that you're in your 26th year, but we knew that. And representing the towns of Newburgh and Montgomery. He graduated right from Newburgh Free Academy. Did you hear that, Mr. Menuda? And he is actually a jeweler and gemologist, as well as an Orange County legislature and somebody that works very closely in his community. As far as his legislative roles, his Ways and Means Committee, he's currently the chair of that and has been for quite a while, but he also serves on Personnel and Compensation, Physical Services, Public Safety, Health and Mental Health, Education and Economic Development, and he too served on what was considered the Social Services Committee and Environmental Facility back in the day. As a matter of fact, right here it's telling me that you actually chaired that committee. And he also has taken up the mantle to chair the Dutchess Quarry Sites National Register District Management Committee from 2021 till present. We thank him for that and congratulate him as he has completed 25 years of service to the Orange County Legislature. And our newly elected Minority Leader, Mr. Michael Paduk, who represents the 19th District, which includes the city of Middletown and the town of Wallkill, has been, he's retired from, well, actually, no, you're not retired, but he's been a union steam fit foreman. He graduated from Goshen High School right here in Goshen. And He has served as minority leader from 2018 to the present. He sits on the Ways and Means Committee currently and has been on that for quite a number of years, as well as the Rules, Enactments, and Intergovernmental Relations, the Fiscal Services Committee, the Personnel and Compensation Committee, Public Safety Committee. He has also served on the Labor Relations Advisory Committee, Health and Mental Health, Environmental Facilities back in the day. He did serve a stint as, I believe it's for a year or two, as the first Democrat appointed as a chairman of a statutory committee. And he also does sit on the Valley View Advisory Committee, chaired by, Mr. Amo, as well as the Labor Relations Committee. And we congratulate him on 5 years of exemplary service. Legislator Brescia, who is out of town and could not join us today, he actually completed 25 years of service last year. And for some reason, we didn't get to that. But he represents the town of Montgomery, village of Maybrook, and town of Walk Hill, and he served as previous chairman of this legislature. So if you will indulge me for a moment, and gentlemen, if you join me in front of the dais here. I have a little special gift for you guys. Yeah, we're going to go up there. So I can talk to the legislature because every time I talk, when I'm up here, my backs are to all of you, and it shouldn't be. So, guys, I've had the pleasure of serving with you for, what am I, in my 13th? Kevin, what year am I in? Thank you. And I think this is unprecedented. From what I understand, I don't think any legislator has served 25 years. So you guys have a very distinct place in Orange County history for serving that.
29.
No, he's
got 4 years.
Yeah, but I'm saying in this current legislature is the legislature that does have seasoned members. And I hope this meets with the jeweler's expectations, but on behalf of the County of Orange and your colleagues in the legislature, I present you with your 25-year pin. Congratulations.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
And to my good friend, Michael Amo, congratulations, sir. And you have to check it and see if it meets your expectations. I didn't see it till today. It's quite impressive, actually.
Just to correct you, you gave everybody else education. I'm a Purdue graduate. I want to tell you, the #1 basketball team in the nation playing tonight.
That's worth 25 years. And Michael, it's been a pleasure serving with you. And I don't think we're going to make 25 more, but each and every one of them, in their own unique way, has made such a great contribution to Orange County. And I can't thank them enough for all of the service that they have provided and the knowledge that they have brought. They're each from diverse backgrounds, and they blend very well together, and they've helped each and every one of us in this legislative chambers to be better legislators, and I thank you very, very much for that. Congratulations, guys.
Can I make one comment?
You can make as many comments as you
No,
want.
I would just like to say that Mr. Paduch and I have spent every minute of our legislative term on physical services from the beginning.
Does that mean I should change it for next year?
No.
Yeah, show it.
Wow.
I don't think we get to see this too often, so they are really very lovely.
And it even looks like it has a ruby.
It
Nice.
does. It does have a ruby,
Yep,
yes.
It's a ruby for 25 years.
So that's a message to all of you. You can look forward to having your pin as well. And with that, I can close from here, right? And with that, I'll entertain a motion to close the meeting. Second. All in favor? Before I let all of you leave, remember you all have to sign. Thank you for the reminder. Remember, you have to sign those things for the newspapers. Staff will be bringing it around. And happy 2023, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam.